Was me yesterday.
You good, right?
I was just looking, like, just so that they have everything they need. Just leave me alone, please.
All right, we have some people.
Okay. According to the Bogota Board of Education bylaws 0151 reorganization meeting, as the board secretary of the Bogota BOE, the organization meeting is called to order on Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. at Bogota High School cafeteria. Please stand for the flag salute. Open public meeting announcement. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Bogota Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and the place thereof posted in the Bogota Borough Hall, communicated by letter to the record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Bogota, and posted on the Bogota Board of Education website. The next is the results of the election. The results of annual school election November 7, 2023 for 3-year term and for 3 seats as the follows. Adriana Alcalde at polls 535, 119 by mail, 5 provisional, 27 early voting, and a total of 686 votes. Jose Chavez, 502 at polls, 104 at mail-in, 5 provisional, 26 early voting, and total of 637. BC Rocket, 484 at polls, 106 mail-in, 2 provisional, 26 early voting, and a total of 618 votes. Brandon Escobar, 341 at polls, 85 mail-in, 9 provisional, 14 early voting, and a total of 449 votes. Jonathan Escalante, 301 at polls, 76 mail-in, 4 provisional, 16 early voting, and a total of 397. David M. Sinor, 253 at polls, 80 mail-in, 5 provisional, 11 early voting, and total of 349 votes. The number of the polling places was 3, District 1 and 6 at Bogota Rec Center, 162 West Main Street, District 2 and 3, Bogota High School Gym, 200 C. Luton Place, District 4 and 5 at Eroy Bixby School, 25 Fisher Avenues. All polling places were open at 6 a.m. and closed 8 p.m. According to the election results, Mrs. Adriana Alcalde, Mr. Jose Chavez, and Mrs. Bisi Rocket were elected for 3-year terms. Congratulations to all newly and re-elected board members. Our office received the approval of the background criminal check for the newly elected member. So the next is the oath administered by me. This time we will do one by one due to the recent COVID cases and things like that.
Yeah, over here. No, there.
I say your name, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Adriana Alcalde, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people.
and I'm sorry, I'm kind of sick. And that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. So help me God.
I, your name, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Adriana Alcalde, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess the qualification prescribed by law for the office of the member of a Board of Education,
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of a member of the Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as the voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A-12-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A subsections 12 through 1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now we use some hand sanitizer on my hand. I'm sorry, I shook it. It was like, it's a habit. Thanks.
I say your name and do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Jose Chavez, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people.
and to the government established in the United States and the state under the authority of the people. So help me God.
I say your name and do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Jose Chavez, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education,
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by the law of the office, law for the office members of Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as the voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed NJSA 18A-12-1,
nor disqualified due to convictions of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A-12-1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my abilities. So help me God.
Congratulations. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I, B.C. Ruckett, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people.
and, okay.
Yep.
Okay, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the government established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. So help me God.
I do solemnly swear
I, B.C. Ruckett, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education, and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19-4-1, nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A 12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean, they are here. Let's go, let's go. Huh? Okay, it's from the podium.
Makes it look official.
Well, the next is the roll call. Mrs. Alcalde,
Present.
Mrs. Alvarez absent due to her job related business. Mr. Alvarez,
Present.
Mr. Chavez,
Present.
Mrs. Cruz,
Present.
Mr. Miranda,
Present.
Mr. Navarro.
Present.
Mrs. Oliva,
Present.
Mrs. Rocket.
Present.
We have the quorum. Also present, Mr. Damian Kennedy, Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Thomas Cobbin, Board Attorney, Mr. Panessa, Business Administrator Board Secretary, Mrs. Elizabeth Ruiz, Assistant Board Secretary. Student Council Representative, Ms. Ashley Rena is absent today. The next item is the Code of Ethics. Board Member Code of Ethics read by me. This is NJSA 18A to 12-24.1. This is a long one. I always have complaints that nobody hear me, so a school board member shall abide by the following code of ethics for school board members. A, I will uphold and enforce all laws, rules, and regulations of the State Board of Education and court orders pertaining to schools. Desired change shall be brought about only through legal and ethical procedures. B, I will make decisions in terms of educational welfare of children and will seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet individual needs of all children, regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing. C, I will confine my board action to policymaking, planning, appraisal, and I will help to frame policies and plans only after the board has consulted those who will be affected by them. D, I will carry out my responsibility not to administer the schools, but together with my fellow board members to see that they are well run. E, I will recognize that authority rests with the Board of Education and will make no personal promises nor take any private action that may compromise the board. F, I will refuse to surrender my independent judgment to special interest or partisan political groups, or to use the schools for personal gain or for gain of friends. G, I will hold confidential all matters pertaining to the school which if disclosed would needlessly injure individuals or the schools. In all other matters, I will provide accurate information and in concert with my fellow board members, interpret to the staff the aspirations of the community for its school. H, I will vote to appoint the best qualified personnel available after consideration of the recommendation of the Chief Administrative Officer. I will support and protect school personnel in proper performance of their duties. J, I will refer all complaints to the Chief Administrative Officer and will act only the complaints at the public meetings only after failure of an administrative solution. According to the NJAC 6A32-3.2 and bylaws 0142, acknowledgement of the receipt for the Code of Ethics will be signed by the all members. Please sign in and which is in your package and return to our office. The next item is the election of the presidents. I would like to remind our bylaws 0152 board officers first before we get into the nomination. Any member may place a member's name in nomination. A second is not required. Election for each office will be conducted by a vote when the nominations for that office are closed. The candidate receiving a majority vote of the members of the board present and constituting the quorum will be elected to office. So now the floor is now open to receive nominations for the office of the president of the Bogota Board of Education.
I would like to say something. First, I want to thank Mr. Frank Miranda for being an amazing president. I believe that you have steered us the right way and you do it with your heart all the time, 100%. And I have to tell you that it is my honor to put you again as president today.
I also would like to elect Frank for president.
All right, Mr. Miranda is nominated. Any other nominations? Hearing no additional nominations, the floor is now open for a motion to close the nomination. So I move that motions to be closed. Motion by
Motion?
Mr. Chavez, seconded by
Olivo.
Mrs. Olivo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So now I'm gonna have the votes for the nomination of the president for Mr. Miranda. Mrs. Alcalde? Yes.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
yes, or no, or abstain.
No, we actually do need a motion for that, right? So we took a motion that closed the nominations.
We close the nomination.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking the votes for the
For
president,
president.
if they're.
Or you-
Yes or no.
Yeah, it should be, I thought there'd be a motion and a second. That's fine.
Okay.
You guys don't want to do it that way?
I mean, however you would like us to do, but like.
Yeah,
Fine.
that's fine. Yeah,
All right. So Mrs. Alcalde, yes for the Mr. Miranda.
Yes.
Mrs. Alvarez, absent. Mr. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Chavez,
Yes.
Mrs. Cruz,
Yes.
Mr. Miranda,
Abstain.
Mr. Navarro.
Yes.
Mrs. Olivo,
Yes.
Mrs. Rackett.
Yes.
Mr. Frank Miranda is hereby elected as the president of the Bogota Board of Education. Congratulations. Newly elected president assumes the chair. Passing the gavel.
And, yeah, take your name. No, you have to take the whole thing. You have to take the whole thing. It sits next to it. Goodness sakes.
Use the gavel, Frank. Use the gavel.
He wants to.
Use the gavel.
He wants to.
He wants to use it.
Before I move on, I thank you again for trusting in me. It's not easy for none of you and myself. And thank you for your kind words, but you can't do anything without a team. That's the honest truth. I'm seeing it. I've experienced it. Our communication is key. We have a phenomenal communication factor that plays a big role in this entire process. I think our superintendent can attest to that. I think Irfan can attest to that. I just can't do it without you, and I'd rather not do it without you, and that's the truth. And for the new members, you're gonna see it. I've watched previous boards. I mean, we have an old president, a previous president sitting in the, and it's hard. It's difficult. It's difficult to sometimes to get a hold of each other. Our families are involved, our sports are involved, and it's really difficult. But in my last 3 years, it's been a great ride. I mean, a lot of people scared me away from being part of this process. But they didn't get to accomplish that. And I know it's always due to the team. It's always due to good people who have good hearts. They have all the right reasons. And I see everybody's face in some sort of volunteerism capacity. So I think we thrive with the same colors, purple and gold. And I think that's the agenda, right? People say, oh, you have agenda. Well, the agenda is about Bogota and the kids. And whatever that agenda, if anybody has something to say about that, well, too bad for you, because that's what we're all here for. So thank you so much. Thank you. I do want to move on to, just give me a sec. I want to open the floor nominations. Oh, and really quick, Irfan, people don't hear you, but you're financially very loud.
Yeah, that's what matters. Definitely.
That's what matters. I'd like to open the floor for nomination of the Vice President of the Bogota Board of Education. Should I take a motion?
No, first, anybody who wants to make a.
Oh, anyone want to make a nomination? Same rules apply, for Vice President?
I'll nominate EPC. Yep, I'm very, very happy with how she led us while in your absence, how she led us in every committee that she was on. Absolutely, Ms. Rocket.
Thank you.
I'd also like to nominate BC.
I'll third that one.
So, do I have
Undone.
So,
wait, because I know.
Just roll call, right? No? You need
Do
a
I have
motion.
to close the nomination?
Motion.
What Mr. Coben says makes sense if we had more than one nomination.
I know, I just
but-
want to make sure. No other nominations on the floor?
Motion.
I have a motion to close the nomination.
Motion,
Motion.
Cruz.
Ms. Cruz for a second, Chavez for motion, Ms. Cruz for second, all in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion?
no,
Oh, a vote it is, roll call, Mr. Fun.
Mrs. Alcalde,
Yes.
Mrs. Alvarez absent, Mr. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Chavez,
Yes.
Mrs. Cruz,
Yeah.
Mr. Miranda,
Yes.
Mr. Navarro,
Yes.
Mrs. Olivo,
Yes.
Ms. Rocket.
Abstain.
So Mrs. Bissell Rocket is hereby elected as the Vice President of the Bogota Board of Education.
She sent you down an email and tell her she got president.
Yeah, right.
I will say this, I didn't want to put it out front, but BC Rocket, has been instrumental to some of the decision makers I've taken. There's a hot and cool in every relationship. She knows I'm hot, and she's cool, unless you make her hot, and then also they have to become cool. But there's a hot and cool, and she gets me to think a little further than just the instant gratification or gratitude. And sometimes I'm saying, this is bogus, this shouldn't be this way. It's just not fair how people think, we work so hard, and she tends to do something like that, right? My wife does this, Lucy does this. So they say wherever good man or structure, there's a great woman behind. And to BC Rocket, it's an honor to have you there.
Thank you.
I tell you all the time, you're my girl, say it all the time, but it's everyone plays a part, Susan's the cool-headed person, Trina is like, let's think a little further. And Jose, so everybody plays a big role, right? Those truly involved play a big role. We'll talk about the committees for the next meeting. I know there's a delegate for the state, and a delegate will talk, we'll speak on that. I want to give everyone time after the holidays to I'm open body. I want you to choose. what rattles your heart. I do want to congratulate our sitting today officially councilwoman and previous board member, previous president, Lisa Coles, congratulations. I'm sure you're gonna support us big time because you've been here and done that. At least I hope so, right? And then you have Diana Vergara, who was also elected to council. Congratulations, Diana
Congratulations.
Vergara. And then Mayor Danielle Feedy, first woman to make mayoral position in Bogota, so that's a first and first, you know, so thank you to her. And that's for me. We'll move on to our meetings. Just give me a second. I gotta get used to this again. There's only a few days.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
wasn't we
it's
just
gone.
here?
I know, right?
Moving on to resolution 811, which is for the approval of action items 8.1 through 8.9, with 8.10 not being moved for approval at this time. Is there a motion to move 8.11 consistent of 8.1 through 8.9?
Motion.
Mr. Chavez for a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Alvarez.
Mrs. Rocket for a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, Irfan.
Mrs. Alcalde,
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez,
Yes.
Mr. Chavez,
Yes.
Mrs. Cruz,
Yes.
Mr. Navarro,
Yes.
Mrs. Olivo,
Yes.
Mrs. Racket,
Yes.
Mr. Miranda.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next on the agenda is any old business. Does anyone have any old business? For me, Councilwoman Coles, those fields are essential to our town. They're essential to Bogota. They're essential to our children. They're essential to our sports. I know you feel it, you know it, you've coached. You know, some people don't have children, don't have kids, don't understand it. It's essential. People want it. I truly ask you publicly to become a voice down the hill, and help us get, you know, a road, cross those roads and get those fields. We'll be in any moment now, and we hope to be breaking ground soon. Any new business on the agenda for 10-1? I'd like to open the floor to hearing of the public on any item. Is there a motion or move to hearing of the public?
Motion, Cruz?
Mrs. Cruz, do I have a second?
Alvarez.
second.
Mr. Alvarez, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
more discussion? I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any member who would like to state your name and your address, you have 5 minutes on absolutely any topic, hopefully pertaining to the Board of Education.
Reed Five River Road.
Use the
First,
mic.
I'd like to congratulate. I'd like to
No, with the cable.
I'd like to congratulate Adriana, Jose, and Bissy. Very glad that you guys are back. Adriana, I will say, I've always said this, it's the most rewarding job you will ever do for the children in the District of Bogota. I loved it here 6 years. I left only because I felt let other parents get involved. Their turn, and I'm glad you stepped up. Frank, congratulations. You are probably the most passionate president I've ever seen. You're doing a wonderful job. Keep it up. Bissy, same for you
Thank
too. Very happy that you're vice president. And me as now newly elected, I will be working very close with the Board of Ed. I'm hoping that I'll be your liaison, but we'll see what happens. We need a lot of communication. We need a lot of work. Too many years went by, separate entities, and it's time to work together. You know, we might not all be on the same page. We'll discuss it and then, you know, move forward. So again, I look forward to working with everybody, Damian, Irfan, Lizzie, everybody. Thank you very much, and let's have a great 2024. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Linda.
you.
Is there anyone else?
No one's in the, you know,
That's a buzz.
May I take a motion to close floor, hearing of the public?
Motion.
Mr. Chavez, Mrs. Ruckett, was that you for a second? Any board discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, this is where it ends. Congratulate those again. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
That was Chavez, and the second, Mrs. Bucket. Any board discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, everyone.